Just going to continue with Oneness versus the 1% by Vandana Shiva and Kartikey Shiva. The vision of one agriculture, one science, one monoculture and one monopoly. Bill Gates, who is pushing one agriculture, has partnered with the Mexican telecom magnate Carlos Slim to use smartphones to dumb down the farmers as he waits for instructions from the machine and loses his capacity to know his farming soil and seed. Similarly, Facebook Mark Zuckerberg has tried selling big data to farmers in India through free basic, essentially pre-packaged internet.org, which provides free basic internet access to users in collaboration with telecom operators. It's a system through which Facebook decides what information is important for the users. Zuckerberg bought free basics to India in partnership with Reliance Industries, an Indian mega corporation with interests in telecom, energy, food, retail, infrastructure and land. Reliance has acquired land from the Indian government for setting up rural cell phone towers and also grabbed land from farmers for creating special economic zones, says. Consequently, and at no extra cost, it has a huge rural, semi-urban and suburban user base, especially farmers. Despite Zuckerberg deploying a whopping 1 million rupees, that is $14 million, to advertise the service, for the time being, the Telecom Regulatory Authority of India, TRAI, has shut down free basics. Reliance continues to offer the service across its network. What Monsanto has done by pushing intellectual property, IP laws and patents on seeds, Zuckerberg is attempting to do with internet freedom in India, and like Monsanto, he is targeting the most marginalised Indians. Free Basic sets limits on internet usage, and right at the outset it barred streaming video content, stating that it would interfere with the telecom company's services. This despite TRAI's recommendation for making video content more accessible to different populations. If the service gets the green light once again, what is to stop telecom companies from redefining the internet to suit their own interests and those of their corporate partners? After all, the ban on free basics has not stopped Reliance for continuing to provide the service to its huge user base, largely farmers. Why should Zuckerberg decide what a farmer in Punjab should access on the internet? Should the internet enable a farmer to understand how the GMO technology has failed everywhere in the world and has only been kept going through unfair market and trade policies? Or should the internet suggest the next patented molecule he should spray on his crop? The Monsanto Facebook connection also runs deep. Nearly all the top 12 investors in the seed company are among the top investors in Facebook. This includes Vanguard Group, which is a major investor in Deere & Co., Monsanto's partner for smart tractors. It's no surprise then that an event page on the March Against Monsanto, a major American grassroots movement in support of labelling and regulatory GMOs, was removed from Facebook. The page promoted a rally in Monsanto's headquarters, St. Louis, in August 2013. The right to food is the right to choose what we want to eat, to know what is in our food and to opt for nourishing, tasty food, not the few packaged goods that corporations want us to consume. The right to the internet is the right to choose what media and information we want to access, to choose the ecological, political, economic, social and intellectual space that enrich us, not what companies think should be our basics. Our right to know what we are eating is essential to our right to information, all information. In the ultimate Orwellian doublespeak, free from Zuckerberg means privatised. A far cry from privacy, a word the tech entrepreneurs do not believe in, and like the created free trade agreements, free basic is anything but free for citizens. Real knowledge comes from experience, interconnectedness, participation. Big data is not knowledge. Big data from one corporation contributes as the knowledge manifesto of the International Commission on the Future of Food states. No information obesity. It is a means of control. Likewise, 42 African universities working with diverse cultures and in diverse ecosystems, deserts and rainforests, mountains and coast, adopting one agriculture, one science programme is a recipe for impoverishing and enslaving Africa intellectually and economically. There are three major reasons why the One Agriculture, One Science initiative, onegonscience.org, will aggravate problems in agriculture instead of solving them. The branding exercise that resulted in One Agriculture, One Science is a failure in itself. For experts to believe the different climate, different ecosystems and different cultures can be prescribed one solution is absurd. Either they are not aware that the rainfall in Cherrapunjab in northeast India is not the same as rainfall in Oaxaca, Mexico, or that it's hotter in Maharashtra than in Oregon, or they simply don't care whether a farmer's crop fails or succeeds as long as they have extracted every last dollar, rupee or rand from our producers. The One Agriculture promise by big agri-corporation ignores the finding of all UN agencies, including the International Assessment of Agricultural Knowledge, Science and Technology for Development, IAASTAD, a global project which had a team of 400 scientists working to assess the role of agricultural science and technology in reducing hunger and poverty and facilitating socially and economically sustainable development. Their report states we must look to smallholders, traditional farming to deliver food security in third world countries through ecological systems which are sustainable. Governments must invest in these systems. This is the clear evidence. The collective corporate assault is underway across the globe. The veterans of corporate America like Gates are being joined by the next generation of philanthropo-corporate imperialists like Zuckerberg. The similarities between Gates and Zuckerberg, perfectly rehearsed, PR managed announcement of giving away their fortune, are uncanny. Whatever entity the Zuckerbergs form to handle the $45 billion they have pledged towards the cause of human advancement will more likely end up being a lot like Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, powerful enough to influence climate negotiations during the 2017 One Planet Summit, but responsible for nothing. What could Gates and Zuckerberg have to gain from dictating terms of government during the climate summit held in Paris to commemorate the 2-year of the Paris Climate Accord? The Breakthrough Energy Coalition will invest in ideas that have the potential to transform the way we all produce and consume energy. Zuckerberg wrote on his Facebook page announcing Gates' Breakthrough Energy Coalition, which pools in the combined wealth of hundreds of billions of dollars and 28 private investors who will influence how the world produces and consumes energy. At the same time, Gates is currently behind a move to force chemical fossil fuel department agriculture and patented GMOs through the Alliance for the Green Revolution in Africa, AGRA, which was founded through a partnership between the Rockefeller Foundation and the Gates Foundation. It is an attempt to trap African farmers into developing a dependence on fossil fuels that should be left underground, as well as on Monsanto for seeds and petrochemicals. The 2017 World Food Prize was given to Dr. Atkinwumi Adesina for his critical role in the establishment of AGRA, a Minister of Agriculture in Nigeria. The ceremony was held at the US Department of Agriculture on the 27th of June 2017, just as the Green Revolution was imposed on India jointly by the US government and the Rockefeller Foundation. The Green Revolution for Africa is being imposed by Gates, the Rockefeller Foundation and the US government. In the world of the 1% governments are just their extension, their salespeople. In the 5 decades since the Green Revolution in India, ecological science has taught us the value of diversity in ensuring sustainability, increasing food production and resilience. India's farmers have evolved 200,000 varieties of rice. They have evolved thousands of varieties of wheat, pulses and oil seeds. They have evolved thousands of varieties of brinjal, aubergine, banana and mango. However, one agriculture based on one flawed science has no place for their diverse knowledge. It is driven by experts who neither have an understanding or diversity nor a respect for the knowledge of farmers. The very foundation of the science of agroecology, the manipulation of productivity, the output to suit the false narrative of feeding the world with chemicals and GMOs has led to violence against the planet, with 75% of water systems destroyed, 75% of soil desertified and degraded, 93% of plant biodiversity lost, and biodiversity of pollinators threatened, and 40% of contributions to climate change, and this industrial system only provides 30% of the food we eat. If the proportion of industrial agriculture in our food systems were to increase, we should have a dead planet and no food. They say that we do not know anything, that we are backwardness, that our heads need changing for a better one. They say the same learned men are saying this about us. These academics who reproduce themselves in our own lives. What is there on the banks of their river? Doctor, take out your binoculars and your spectacles. Look, if you can, 500 flowers from 500 different types of potato grown in the terraces above abysses that your eyes don't reach. Those 500 flowers are my brain, my flesh. Jose Marie Agundas, quite a poet from the Andes. Golden rice, a blind approach to preventing blindness, is not science. Golden rice is genetically engineered rice with 2 genes from the daffodil plant and 1 gene from a bacterium, resulting in a yellow colour that is supposed to increase beta-carotene, a precursor of vitamin A. It is being offered as a miracle cure for vitamin A deficiency, VAD. However, golden rice, even if successful, will be 400% less efficient in providing vitamin A than the biodiversity alternatives that women have to offer. To get your daily requirement of vitamin A, all you need to do is eat one of the following: 2 tablespoons of spinach or collier, amaranth or radish leaves, 4 teaspoons of mustard or bathu leaves, 1 teaspoon of coriander chutney, 1.5 teaspoons of mint chutney, 1 carrot, 1 mango. Not only do these alternatives provide more vitamin A than golden rice ever will, at a lower cost, they also provide other nutrients. To defend the mirage of golden rice and throw it the failed GMO technologies in 2016, 107 Nobel laureates were mobilised, including the ghost of a dead one. Alfred G. Gilman died on the 23rd of December 2015 to validate its claim. It was a clumsy and crude PR stunt and had nothing to do with science. The Nobel letter, issued on the 28th of June 2016, tries to promote golden rice, urging Greenpeace and its supporters to re-examine the experience of farmers and consumers worldwide. with crops and foods improved through biotechnology, recognise the findings of authoritative scientific bodies and regulatory agencies, and abandon their campaign against GMOs in general, the golden rice in particular. The letters coincided with the vote on the Dark Act in the US Senate, christened the Deny Americans the Right to Know Act by the critics. The act that prevents United States from labelling GMOs was moved through Congress by Republican Congress members like Pompeo, who initially was the CIA director in Trump's administration and is now the Secretary of State. What could be more unscientific and fraudulent than using the signatures of dead scientists? This is fraud. Number one, trying to substitute expertise with the authority of Nobel Prize winner is fraud. Number two, Philip Stark, Associate Dean of the Division of Mathematical and Physical Science and Professor of Statistics at the University of California, Berkeley, presented his own analysis of the expertise of the signatories on Twitter. 1 Peace Prize, 8 Economics, 24 physicists, 33 chemists, 41 doctors. He added that science is about evidence, not authority. And that is actually 24 physicists. What do you know of agriculture? Done relevant research. Science to supposed to be show me, not trust me. Nobel Prize or not. Fraud number 3 is that it was Monsanto and COS's PAR people, including J. Byrne, who actually orchestrated the Nobel laureate mobilisation. Byrne is the former head of the corporate communication for Monsanto, trying to pass off a PR stunt, a scientific debate and discourse is a scientific fraud. Fraud number 4 is substituting reason and evidence with an ad hominem attack which has no place in real science. Fraud number 5 is presenting a failed scientific experiment as a miracle and blaming Greenpeace for the failure of the GMO technology, as Glenn Stone, a rice scientist at Washington University in St. Louis, Missouri, has stated. The simple fact is that after 24 years of research and breeding, golden rice is still years away from being ready for release. According to Stone, the rice simply has not been successful in test pilots of the rice breeding institutes in the Philippines, where the leading research is being done. It has not even been submitted for approval to the regulatory agency, the Philippine Bureau of Plant Industry, BPI. In 2015, the Supreme Court of the Philippines has issued a temporary suspension of GMO crops trials at the International Rice Research Institute, IRRI. Dr. Alison Wilson is in her paper Goodbye to Golden Rice, GM Trait Leads to Drastic Yield Loss and Metabolic Meltdown, points out. Golden rice has never been commercialised, however, and its failure to reach the market has been blamed on over-regulation and on anti-GMO opposition. Recent research by the Indian Scientific shows that introducing golden rice transgene had unexpected detrimental effects. Their high yielding and agronomically superior Indian rice variety became pale and stunted, with yield so reduced it was unsustainable for cultivation. Bolenidi et al. 2017. This research was obvious implications for golden rice, particularly by suggesting that nutritionally useful GMO golden rice may be an impossibility. All plants inherently have diverse nutritions. Industrial agriculture produces nutritionally empty commodities not only because the soil is deprived of nutrients by not restoring the diverse nutrients through organic matter, but also because monocultures decrease the diversity of nutrients that are provided by biodiversity. Biofortification is genetic engineering through which the nutritional value of crops is increased, like the golden rice that is fortified with vitamin A or banana fortified with iron. Gates is propping up failed golden rice, rejected GMO aubergines and useless GMO bananas. He funded one scientist in Australia to biofortify bananas with iron in the name of saving women who died of iron deficiency during childbirth. Women in India started a campaign to say no to GMO bananas, showing that it would be 7,000% less effective as a source of iron than the bananas we have. The GMO banana project for iron fortification in India went underground and was resurrected as a vitamin A deficiency project in Uganda. So I'll leave it there for now.